Welcome to the Ask Faleskini podcast. This is special end of the year podcast for listeners on all platforms and viewers on YouTube. On the end of the interviews, I ask my guests, are there any special tips or tricks that they want to share with you? And today I have no guest, so I will share my special trick on how to navigate the matrix. I know that escaping the matrix is getting more and more popular. Basically, there's a new wave. The first wave was when the movie Matrix came out. And now there are more and more content on the internet about how to escape the matrix. What I would like to talk to you about today is why you shouldn't escape the matrix and how you should turn the matrix into your favor. First, let me start with some theory. The most important part is that the matrix that everyone is talking about is not actually mathematical matrix. It's the matrix product. And part of the matrix product are individual matrices. So these metrics that are inside the matrix product, they all influence the final product. And the most important secret I would like to share is that you are one of the matrices. And that is extremely important to understand. And your business is another matrix. And all these metrics, they influence the combined product of a matrix. And your life is not a matrix. Your life is a matrix product. That is the most important revelation of this podcast. And in order to be as hands-on as possible, how you can influence the matrix and how you can turn it into your favor. Let's start with the matrix number one, and that is yourself. Yes, if we simplify the whole system, everything, one of the important part of the system is yourself. Because we are all living in a system, regardless if we want it or not, and if you want to escape it or not. Or the most important part is to be aware or self-aware, as they often put it, that we are part of the matrix. Even more, we are one of the matrix. Of course, that is a mathematical oversimplification. But nevertheless, it should help us explain how we can influence the matrix product. And let's start with all the variables or all the fields in the matrix. One of the most important fields in the matrix is our well-being. So our well-being is part of our wellness, and part of our wellness is also our health. If we are not healthy, it's really hard to feel well. So how can we influence our metrics? How can we influence the field that is all about our wellness? It's quite simple. We need to take care of our diet. We need to take care that our diet is built of natural, unprocessed food. So this is not something new that I'm talking about. There are many, many experts on the internet that you can search and check the diet. Of course, there are many different diets, so there's only one way. If you want to fine-tune your metrics, you have to try what works best for you. And I understand it's a trial and error. It's not one solution fits all. However, if you will start dieting, if you will try different diets, then you are on the way to make a long-lasting change. What is important also is regular exercise. Only fit body can accommodate healthy soul. And why is that so important? Because your decision-making process is also one field in your metrics. It's extremely important to understand that if you feel well, your decisions will be completely different. And based on your decisions, the results will be completely different. And what is important to understand, if you are one of the metrics, and there are other metrics that you don't have influence over, but only with what you can influence, your metrics product will change to the extent that you will have the life that you desire, the life that you're looking for, and the life that will be really fulfilling. I would also like you to understand that really important thing that does not cost anything, and it's in high demand. Even with all the apps that help you schedule time, is do not be late. Especially in virtual space, being late is something that negatively influences all the metrics. Why? Because all of us have slots of time that we intend to use for something. And if you don't match with someone in the metrics or wherever you want to call it in your scheduler, and you are late, or if you don't apologize or something like that, you will influence your metrics in a negative way. So the outcome will be worse than what you desire. So it's really important that you are on time and that your deadlines are not exceeded, because time is the most important asset that we all have. And this stays the same within the metrics and also within the metrics product. Another really important place in your metrics are relationships. First, and the most important relationship that you want to work with is relationship with yourself. Then you have a family, or you probably have a family, so relationship with your family is also extremely important. Then you have friends, business circles, acquaintances. So strive to have good relationships. Of course, you cannot be friends with everyone, but try to make your relationships as smooth as possible. The fourth and really important place in the metrics is your knowledge, your wisdom, and your conscience. It is important that you acknowledge that this is an important part of your metrics. A lot of people will recommend to read a lot of books. A lot of people will recommend that you listen to different experts. What I will recommend is that just try to apply your knowledge. By applying your knowledge, by making mistakes in real life, your conscience will improve. And it is really important that you distinguish and understand done is better than perfect. What I would like to explain, or how I would like you to understand that, is that the perfect idea that you have carefully crafted in your mind, you thought over every detail, still comes short to the idea or to the project that was executed. If your perfection in idea in your mind is still worth less in these metrics than the project that was executed, even if it was not perfect, but it gave you some feedback and it helped you improve yourself. The fourth really important key is your mindset, your belief system, your religious, and also your subconscious. Take a time out of your busy schedule and think about your belief system, because the belief system that you have today has enabled you to come to where you are today. And that is in your mental health, for example, that is in your physical strength, and that is also in your financial position. It's all the product of your past mental states. So it's extremely important that if you want different result, if you want metrics to work in your favor, so the metrics product also depends on your mindset. If you want different result in a metrics product, you have to have different mindset. The fifth key that I would like to address is your possession, your assets, your outside world. I understand that we have different possessions, we have different assets, but it's not so important what kind of assets we have because they change in time. The most important is how we go about the assets, what we think about them. What I would like to address here is start using things, not people. That is the most important thing. Assets that you have should be utilized, should be put to use. If you don't use assets, if you don't intend to use them in the future, get rid of them. They will bring you down, irregardless of how valuable they are. Change your environment in a way that helps you achieve your goal. And as I said, it's really important that you acknowledge every asset that you have, that you use it, and if possible, do something productive with it. Of course, you also need assets for your entertainment, and this will influence your mindset. If you will be entertained, if you will work more on your well-being, even the assets that cost you money will help you improve your metrics product. The second really important metrics that you have influence over is your business metrics. Regardless of if you're employee, employer, if you're a manager, or even an owner of a company, you have influence over your business metrics. That is important. You are not without influence. One of really important places in your business metrics is that you should add value in the process. It's important that you understand that regardless of what your company is doing, you should always strive to add value. If you don't agree or align with your company's value, either sell a company if you are the owner, if you are an employer, start looking for a new opportunity. It's important that you add value and that this value is recognized by your outer environment. It's really important that you practice what you preach. A lot of people these days preach something and company, they claim that they stand for something, but their action speaks completely different language. This sends shockwaves through metrics. It's important to understand if you don't practice what you preach, you're not aligned with your mission, and that always sends negative shockwaves through your metrics. Or if I simplify it, that will not, in the long term, help you achieve the results that you want. Because we are in an environment where there's so much waste. There's a lot of waste of money, a lot of waste of materials, a lot of waste of relationships. Strive to minimize your waste. Of course, you cannot completely avoid the waste, but if you strive to minimize it, this will have a huge positive impact on your metrics product. And don't forget, some man's trash is another man's treasure. It's important when you see that you're wasting something, just have someone else look at it. Maybe they can find treasure. When you're doing business, you're always doing business with people. Even if more and more experts are claiming that now AI will take over and the machines will take over, but business is all about people. On the lowest level, the business is always exchange of energy, exchange of goods, exchange of services. It's important that you recognize this. Extremely important in business, and I believe also in life, that you communicate. There are so many good advices on the internet that will help you communicate. The biggest setback in business is often lack of communication. Either you don't have direct info from your clients, either you don't have direct info from your suppliers, either you don't have direct info from your employees, either you don't have direct info from your superior. Whenever there's a communication problem, there's a business problem. It's always the lack of communication always results in lack of business. Take care of communication. Learn how to communicate. Of course, if you are working for someone, you will not have a lot of influence on how communication is structured in your company. However, you will understand how you can improve it. It's also important that you communicate in a way that benefits you and the whole organization where you work. I would also say that part of communication are also interfaces and processes. So whenever you can, try to improve the process. If you cannot improve it right away, write down your ideas. The processes also change when the tools change. So when people change, when tools change, and of course, when the products change, the processes need to change. The part of the business metrics that might influence your business outcomes and your life outcomes most are coaches and consultants. You don't need to learn only on your mistakes. Of course, your business is specific, but many things in your business are not specific to your business. And there are people that specialize in helping you avoiding the mistakes that will slow you down. These people are called coaches and consultants. Both of them are a gamble. But if you have stamina to persevere, to get the coach you need, or to get the consultant that you need, you will 10x your growth easily because you will avoid costly mistakes. Of course, there are many more places in the business metrics. I would like to address one more before I continue, and that are payments. It's important to understand that payments are where the metrics has the biggest glitch for you. And that is, if you accept advance payments, you will never have liquidity problem. If you understand that small businesses, they need liquidity, try to pay every product, physical product, in advance. If you understand that service businesses also need liquidity, try to pay as soon as service is finished. Don't let them wait for 30 days, for 60 days, for 90 days. Pay small businesses in 8 days. I believe that is one of the most important advice, how you can turn your business metrics in your favor and how your business can most positively influences your environment. Bible teaches us that abundance will be given to those who practices faith. I would like to say that even if you don't practice a certain faith, if you practice fine-tuning of your metrics, the abundance will always be available for you. And now, why not everyone is abundant? That is the question that I get really often when I do public speaking. It's important to understand that there are many obstacles to managing or mastering your metrics product. There are many obstacles to self-mastery and to mastery of metrics product. I would like to address just few. One is fear of missing out. It's important to understand you are working on your timeline. Of course, you would like things to be faster, or sometimes we would like things to be slower. Sometimes we don't want people to go out of our life to die. Sometimes we don't want our business to stop and similar. However, there's a higher plan to that. And we need to understand that we are not missing anything out. If we are active, if we are improving our own metrics on the fields that I mentioned and on other fields that I did not mention in this podcast, your metrics product will change. It's important to understand that not all changes are fast. Some changes take decades to materialize in your metrics product. Some changes will materialize in a matter of seconds when you will change one thing by yourself or one thing by your business metrics. Everything will change, or it will seem like everything has changed overnight. Time expectations are the biggest factor in limiting your metrics mastery. Things take time. People need time. Companies need time. I cannot tell you how long certain tasks or certain events need to develop. But what I can tell you is that everything has its own time. If you're not patient, you might not be able to wait and endure until the changes happen. The metrics product is directly correlated with your personal metrics and your business metrics. It's up to you to decide whether you're going to be aware of your metrics, your business metrics, and your personal metrics, whether you're going to influence the metrics product in a way that will benefit you, your family, your abundance, your well-being, or you're just gonna live according to someone else's specifications and just be in someone else's metrics product. Remember, if you change yourself, if you change your business, you will influence the metrics product. If you change it in a way that is more towards your needs, also the metrics product will shift more towards your needs. Remember, there are many other metrics that you have influence over. This episode I dedicated to your personal and to your business metrics. If you would like to know about other metrics that you can influence in order to improve or to make metrics product more towards your liking, just DM me or write it in a comment. And if there are enough requests, I can prepare another line or even a whole series of how can you influence each individual metrics in order to have the metrics product that you desire. 2023 was about playing victims. So many people played victims. So many people want to explain the metrics. Let's make 2024 about ourselves. Let's make it about our metrics. Let's make it about our personal metrics. Let's make it about our business metrics. And let the metrics product be in our favor. Please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to comment, even if you don't agree with me.